Steel Nation, we are days removed from the Steelers defeating the Denver Broncos to advance to 2-0. Their first 2-0 start since 2020, and that is with Justin Fields as the starting quarterback. That is also the first time that Justin Fields in his NFL career has started 2-0.
So number 2 is leading the Steelers to a 2-0 record.
Yes.
Now the question is he going to be the starting quarterback remaining for the rest of the season?
Well, according to Mike Tomlin, they are in the same predicament as last week with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson still recovering from the calf injury. They are once again preparing as if Justin Fields is the starter, and more than likely he will be the starter versus the Chargers, which is the right decision because Fields should still start as long as Russ is hurt. And even if Russ gets fully healthy, Lord knows when that's going to be because it seems like this calf injury is going to be lingering on for some odd weeks now. It also all depends on Justin Fields and how he does at the quarterback position. But in my honest opinion, I think he's been doing solid. I think he's been doing his job as a backup because Russell Wilson is still the starter. According to Tomlin, according to the depth chart, Russell Wilson is still listed as the starter. So Fields as the backup is doing exactly what he needs to do as a backup. A very good backup. He's done no mistakes. He's made no bad decisions. He's done his reads. He's hit Pickens deep numerous times. Some of them have gotten called back, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he's running with the game plan, no mistakes. Hardly any, mistakes at that. He's had a couple fumbling, snapping issues here and there, but that's like maybe once a game. Hopefully he can fix those up, but he has not given the ball up as of yet, and we all know Justin Fields' problems with turnovers.
Yes.
But he's been very protective of the ball. He hasn't forced anything. He's done a very solid job. He's done his job as the backup, as a number 2. But the way that he's been playing, he could very well work now as the true number 1. Now he's not lighting the league up in numbers, so to speak. He's only got 273 passing yards and only 1 passing touchdown to go along with 84 rushing yards off 22 carries. So he's not like league leading. He's not putting, outrageous numbers out there, but Fields is doing his job.
And honestly, I don't think Fields will ever reach the level of an elite quarterback. I mean, maybe it's too early to say with him being the starter for the Steelers, but I'd figure if we'd see something a little more substantial by now, I know it's still early into the season, we would have seen something a little extra. Now, granted, in the Broncos game, we did get to see some flashes of that, but penalties brought him back, unfortunately. Some of them were tick-tacky. Some of them were arguable with Broderick Jones and Van Jefferson, right? But regardless, they were brought back. And that's one thing I want to harbor on about Justin Fields is you see him from week 1. You see what Arthur Smith said about him and the game plan and kind of limiting him from throwing towards Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons and towards the middle of the field because he understands how much of a game wreckers they are. And then you see that kind of aggression step up into the Broncos game where he was throwing it more deep to Pickens. He was using more of the middle of the field. And honestly, it seems like Fields is getting a lot more comfortable. In my opinion, now the stats won't show it clearly, but if you watch the game, in my honest opinion, man, mostly in the first half, Justin Fields cooked. Like, he was throwing some darts. He was throwing some dimes down there to everybody. Like, he was really coming into his own as the starter for the Steelers. He seemed comfortable, which was week 1's job. It was to get him acclimated. It was to get him comfortable in the system. That way, later on into the season, such as what we saw in week 2, he can put on performances like he did. So with Fields being more comfortable in the system and chemistry with the targets, I think Fields is only going to continue to get better. Is he playing a little too safe? Arguably. But they are definitely going in with a sense of aggression. They're trying to throw the ball down the field. One of the biggest problems in terms of that is it's very evident the Steelers don't have a number 2 receiver. I would love to see what Justin Fields could do if he had a legitimate number 2 receiver. That could be Roman Wilson. Lord knows when he's going to get his first bit of NFL action. Hopefully this week versus the Chargers. But the Steelers have no other targets on the field at the wide receiver position that's going to be able to give Fields the ability to throw down the field outside of Pickens.
Yeah.
We know what him and Pickens can do. Pickens should have had a touchdown last week. Pickens should have had over 80 yards. And if you look at that and you say that along with Justin Fields, Fields should have had 200 yards. Fields should have had 2 passing touchdowns.
He should have.
So you look at that, you take away the team's mistakes, you take away the penalty issues, then the Steelers' offense, man, looks a lot better than what the end result was. What
the
second
stats
half
are showing.
Yes. So, in my opinion, Fields is definitely the best guy to go with. Not just because Russ is hurt, but even if he is healthy, I don't think you turn away from Fields because as of right now, Fields is not a problem. And he's not a problem until he becomes one.
No.
It's just one of those situations where we continue to ride with the hot hand. We continue to ride with Justin Fields. And Lord knows how the season's going to go. But if anything goes south, then you put in Russ and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but as far as Fields right now, I know it's only been 2 weeks, but I can already see glimpses of Fields, having confidence behind his offensive line under center with the ball in his hands.
Yes.
He's not afraid to sling it. He's not afraid to make a mistake or to throw the football. And he's pretty aggressive out there. He's not too aggressive, thus he hasn't made any turnovers yet, but he's done very well. And if he keeps that up, then yes, of course, I think Justin Fields should remain the starter even if Russ is 100% healthy, because in the NFL, when it comes to business, you just got to roll with the hot hand.
Yes.
It's just one of those unfortunate situations in Russ's case that, he got hurt and the backup had to come in, and the backup's doing a very solid job. And if he keeps it up, you just got to keep riding with it until the wheels fall off.
It literally happened to the Steelers last year. And look where it took us. It took us to the playoffs. Not a good result, but it took us to the playoffs. So Justin Fields is leading us to a very decent start thus far, and we're starting to see a little more action from the offense. We're starting to see a little more of that potential. We just need the play calling to be a little better, especially in the second half. We need Arthur Smith to start getting some certain guys involved in the passing game more, such as Muth. We got a little glimpse of Darnell Washington in the red zone. That's great. I would love to see more Connor Hayward. When Roman Wilson is healthy, when he starts playing, when he's active, please get him involved, because maybe he's the guy that can make plays at the wide receiver 2 position. Once we get that in order, because it's only week 2, it's still early. So perhaps as the weeks go on, we start to see a lot more. We start to see more comfortability from Fields. We start to see more of him in the pocket, because it seems like, yeah, you're right, the offensive line is really good. The offensive line has been pretty solid the past 2 weeks, man. Some of the best I've seen the O-line so far. And Fields didn't have that in Chicago. Fields was always scrambling. Fields was always using his legs. Now, it seems like Fields uses his legs when he really has to. It's not like he depends on his legs too much.
No, he's actually trying to find an open target. He's trying to let the play play out a little bit, more so than he did in Chicago. And he's trying to throw the ball. If he has to run it, he will. He'll do it if it's absolutely necessary.
And most of the times when he does, it has led to the Steelers moving the change and keeping the offense alive, keeping the drive alive.
Yeah, and if you think of Russell Wilson's play, obviously at 36 years old, he's not the scrambling quarterback he used to be.
With a calf injury?
He's not as fast as he used to be, and absolutely. Even if he becomes 100% healthy, my worry is that the calf injury is going to re-aggravate again. He's going to hurt it again. He's going to strain it again. And then you got to go back to Fields.
Right.
That's the issue. And with Fields' scrambling ability, Fields is able to scramble, run for a first down, or run for a couple downs just to keep the drive going.
Right.
With Russ, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, especially at his age and injury concerns.
We will definitely lose that aspect of the offense.
So that's
Russ
exactly a big pro that Fields brings rather than Russ. We all know that.
Now, at the same time, a part of me wants to see what the offense can do with Russ, because...
And listen, I'm in the same boat with you.
Because Russ is a smarter quarterback. He has a higher football IQ. He can read defenses better. I do want to see that, because he's a lot smarter between the ears compared to Fields.
And I'm sure that Tomlin wants to see that just as much. Hence probably why Russ is still the starting quarterback on the depth chart. I think deep down, Tomlin does want to see what Russ can bring to the table with the Steelers.
But the problem is, if Fields continues to play like this, and dare I say play better, and put up some decent stats, and continue to lead this offense to something solid, the offense still isn't anything crazy. It's not great. They only have 1 touchdown in 2 games. I'm not trying to say this offense is miraculous. I'm not saying it's the Saints. It's not. God, I wish. But it is better than last year, and I hate to lower my standards by just saying it's better, but I'm still going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's early. In the coming weeks, this offense 100% needs to get points on the board. They need to get in the red zone. They need to limit the penalties. And I feel like they had opportunities to do that last week. It's just penalties really killed everything.
Yeah.
So if they were able to clean those up and they bring another level of dynamicness to the offense, I think the offense can deliver. The thing is, if they indeed go at Russ when he is healthy, could that stop some momentum that Fields may be carrying? Just because Russ is a starter, just because Russ is a veteran, and yes, he is a smarter quarterback between the ears, and I would like to see what he does, but I don't think that just because he's 100% healthy and because of those reasons, he should just be the starting quarterback. A part of me wants to see it, but if Fields is still doing some positive things for the offense, don't bench him.
No, because
unless you have to.
That would be doing Justin Fields dirty. If he's doing good, and the offense is progressing because of it. And if he's a bit more consistent in his play and the offense and the drives is a little bit more consistent where they finish with points, then yes, you absolutely keep Fields in there.
Right.
If you don't, because Russ is back, that's absolutely doing Fields dirty. Fields is out there trying to compete. Fields is out there trying to help his team win.
He's trying to remain the starter, man. And in my opinion, I know it's only 2 games, but so far, he's been a solid starter. Some things have taken away some great plays. There are a couple things with Fields that are concerning, like Rob stated earlier, the fumbling issues. You're guaranteed at least 1 a game. That has got to stop. That's got to be limited because those were near turnover plays for the offense. So we got to limit those. Him, in terms of letting routes develop, I would like to see him be a little more patient in that regard. And I think with the offensive line still building and getting better throughout the weeks, I think that's going to allow Fields to work with that and work with anticipation. I like him to throw with anticipation a little more as well in terms of hitting his targets as fast as he can when they're breaking out of their routes. I think that could allow him to make plays down the field. I think that would allow the offense to get down the field. And I think that would allow Fields to give the ball to certain targets rather than him making his reads and thinking no one's open. He's got to hit these guys once they break off their routes, break off their bites, and then hopefully the offense can get down the field. I would think that Fields is going to work on that. And I think having a guy like Russell Wilson as not the backup, the starter, but on the bench right now, I think that's a great add for Fields. And you can tell it has definitely benefited him because it's made him a smarter quarterback. It's made him a safer quarterback. And it's paying off for the Steelers so far. It's nothing mind-blowing. It's nothing great. In fact, I'd still say in some ways it's a little disappointing because 1 touchdown in 2 games is no-brainer. That's not a winning formula.
No, it's not. You absolutely have to do better.
You can rely on the ground game as much as you want. You can win time of possession as much as you want. If you don't get points on the board and you're relying too much on the defense and Boz, most importantly, you're not going to get away with that against superior teams, against the Chargers, against the Colts coming up, against teams like that. So you got to get points on the board. But I'll give them some weeks. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's only 2 weeks, and I'm hoping that last week's potential versus the Broncos, if they take away the penalties and they deliver again, maybe we can start seeing something decent with this offense.
Yeah, of course. But as of right now, 2 weeks in, I'm saying go with Fields. Even if Russ comes back, go with Fields. I'm liking what I'm seeing thus far. I've been very satisfied with Fields' play. I do want to see a little bit more, and hopefully we do see a bit more.
Absolutely. But I think that Fields has a good support system for the first time in his career so far. He has a good head coach. He has a good O-line. He's got a run game. He has 1 target so far outside of Pickens. The Steelers need to start getting other guys involved. Arthur Smith knows to get other guys involved, and they got to execute. They really do. But Fields, man, I think he's been doing solid. It's early, so maybe we can see more in the next coming weeks. In fact, it's going to be necessary because then some of the toughest matchups are coming up early on into the season. So we're going to need Fields. We're going to need the offense to start clicking even more.
Yeah, they're really going to have to strike out there.
Yeah, I really think so as well. But Fields, in my opinion, he is quarterback 1 until he isn't. It's as simple as that. And if we have to lean on Russell Wilson whenever that is, that's not a bad issue. It's not a bad lean on. We don't know how this quarterback situation is going to go, but as of now, yeah, I'm going with Fields. Russ could be healthy next week. He could be healthy 2 weeks from now. I'm still going with Fields if he's putting on games like this.
Yeah.
If he's making throws like he did against the Broncos. If he's going to get us in the end zone a little more. If he's getting us first down with his legs. If he's keeping the drives alive with his dual threat ability. I'm just doing it. It's the smartest way for the offense as of now. Until he's not a problem, keep him the starter. That's how I feel. How do you guys feel, man? You think Justin Fields should remain the starter? Do you want to see Russell Wilson at quarterback when he's healthy? How do you guys feel about the whole quarterback situation? How do you feel about Fields or the entire offense in general? They definitely got to deliver more, but it's still early, so fingers crossed. Hopefully we see a lot more from the offense and Fields going forward. Let us know your guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Here we go, Steelers.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!